Sometimes the most attractive person in the room is not the loudest, not the richest, not even the best looking. It's the one who feels emotionally unshakable. You've seen this before. Someone walks in with no performance, no noise, no need to impress, and still people pay attention, not because they're trying to be magnetic, but because they're internally stable. Their energy is clean, their presence feels safe, real, rare. Most people spend years chasing attraction from the outside, better style, better lines, better photos, better image. But the truth is uncomfortable and freeing at the same time. Real attraction is built in private, through habits no one applauds. The way you respond when you're disrespected, the way you listen when your ego wants to interrupt, the way you keep your word when it's inconvenient, the way you carry pain without turning it into drama. This is where attraction is decided. In this episode, we're not talking about manipulation. No tricks, no masks. We're talking about 15 habits that make people feel something powerful around you. Trust, calm, respect. The kind of connection that lasts longer than chemistry and goes deeper than appearance. Because the game changes when you stop asking, "How do I get people to like me?" and start asking, "What kind of presence do people feel when they stand next to me?" That question can rebuild your personality from the inside out. So if you're ready, let's begin with the first habit, the one that instantly changes how people read your character before you even finish your first sentence. If this landed, lock in this thought. Attraction is not something you chase. It's something you embody. Let's begin. 1. Speak with calm confidence. Most people think confidence is volume. It isn't. Volume can hide fear just as easily as silence can hide strength. Calm confidence is different. It doesn't rush. It doesn't beg to be believed. It doesn't throw words into the air hoping someone will clap. It speaks clearly, then lets the message breathe. And that one habit alone changes how people feel around you more than any fashion choice ever will. Think about the last time you met someone who made a strong impression without trying too hard. Usually, they weren't the fastest talker in the room. They weren't explaining themselves every 10 seconds. They weren't defending every opinion like it was a life or death battle. They looked present. Their tone was steady. Their pace was deliberate. They gave the feeling that they had nothing to prove, and that feeling is deeply attractive because it signals internal order. When your voice is always rushed, people sense urgency. Urgency often feels like insecurity, but when your voice slows down, your words gain weight. A calm pace tells people, "I trust what I'm saying." It tells them, "I can handle disagreement." It tells them, "My value is not fragile." Attraction grows in that emotional atmosphere, not in pressure, not in performance, in grounded certainty. This doesn't mean becoming cold or robotic. Calm confidence is warm, human. It smiles, it listens, it can joke. But even in humor, it stays centered. You're not trying to win everyone. You're choosing clarity over noise. That shift alone will make people lean in, because most conversations today feel like competition. The person who feels like peace becomes unforgettable. There's also a private side to this habit. You cannot fake calm confidence for long if your inner dialogue is chaos. If inside your head you're constantly saying, "Don't mess this up. Do they like me? Say something impressive." Fill the silence. That internal panic leaks into your tone. So the real work starts before the conversation. Breathe, slow your body, and decide one simple intention. I'm here to connect, not perform. That intention changes your voice immediately. A practical move you can use today. Before any important conversation, pause for 3 seconds before your first sentence. Not dramatic, just enough to settle your breath and your mind. Then speak 15% slower than usual. Keep your sentences shorter. End your point without over-explaining. This tiny adjustment makes you sound more grounded, more mature, and far more attractive. And here's the deeper truth. Calm confidence is not a communication trick. It's a character signal. It shows emotional discipline. It shows self-respect. It shows that your identity doesn't collapse under social pressure. People trust that. People remember that. People are drawn to that. So tonight, notice your rhythm in one conversation. Are you speaking to express or speaking to be approved? Are you present or performing? That single awareness can transform not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. 2. Listen like people actually matter. There is a kind of attractiveness that has nothing to do with your face, your clothes, or your status. It appears in a simple moment. Someone speaks, and you give them your full attention. No fake nodding, no waiting for your turn to talk, no scanning the room. Just presence. Clean, respectful, undivided presence. In a distracted world, that feels almost sacred. Most people don't listen to understand. They listen to reload. They collect fragments, then jump in with advice, stories, opinions, or corrections. But when someone feels truly heard by you, something changes in their nervous system. They relax. Their tone softens. Their guard drops. And in that space, trust begins. Deep attraction often starts there, not in sparks, but in safety. Think about how rare this is now. Phones on tables, eyes drifting, minds split between 5 tabs. Everyone wants to be seen, but few people are willing to see. So the person who can hold attention with patience becomes instantly memorable. You don't need perfect words. You need honest focus. That alone separates you. Real listening also reveals emotional maturity. If someone disagrees with you and you still stay open, you signal strength. If someone shares something messy and you don't rush to fix them, you signal depth. If someone pauses and you don't interrupt the silence, you signal respect. These are small behaviors, but they broadcast a powerful message. My ego is under control. That message is incredibly attractive. And let's be honest, poor listening is often a hidden form of self-absorption. We call it confidence, but sometimes it's anxiety wearing a mask. We talk too much because silence makes us feel invisible. We interrupt because we're afraid our thought will disappear. We give advice because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. The cure is not becoming quieter for appearance. The cure is becoming more curious than self-protective. Try this in your next conversation. Before replying, reflect one sentence of what the other person meant. Something simple like, "So you're saying this wasn't about the job itself. It was about feeling unappreciated." That line does 2 things. It proves you listened, and it helps the other person feel understood. Suddenly the conversation gets deeper, faster, with less effort. Another rule that changes everything. Don't touch your phone when someone is opening up, not even once. That tiny movement says, "You're not enough to hold my attention." People feel it immediately, even if they smile and pretend they don't. Attention is respect made visible. The paradox is beautiful. When you stop trying to be interesting and start becoming interested, you become far more attractive. People leave your presence feeling clearer, calmer, and more valued. They may not remember every word you said, but they will remember how they felt around you, and that feeling becomes your signature. So ask yourself tonight, when people speak to me, do they feel processed or felt? Do they feel managed or understood? If your listening gets better, your relationships, influence, and attractiveness will rise at the same time. 3. Take care of your body every day, not to impress people, not to chase perfection, not to win a comparison game you'll never finish. Take care of your body because it is the physical expression of your self-respect, and people can feel that before you say a single word. There's a quiet kind of attractiveness in someone who looks well kept, energized and alive. Not extreme, not obsessive, just consistent. Clean posture, clear eyes, steady movement, good hygiene. A body that says, "I don't neglect myself." That message lands deeply because discipline is visible even when no one explains it. A lot of people want confidence without physiology. They want to feel powerful while sleeping poorly, eating randomly, never moving, and living in constant fatigue. But your mind and body are not separate teams. When your body is exhausted, your patience drops, your focus breaks, your emotional control weakens. Then social moments become harder, and you call it bad luck or low charisma. It's often just low energy management. Attraction responds to vitality. Vitality comes from basics repeated daily: walking, strength training, hydration, better sleep, real food most of the time, sunlight in the morning. None of this is flashy, but it changes your presence in a way expensive clothes never can. Your voice becomes more stable, your mood becomes less reactive, your face carries more life, your attention lasts longer. People feel the difference. And there's something else. When you care for your body, you unconsciously raise your standards in other areas. You tolerate less chaos. You choose better routines. You become less available for self-sabotage. It's never just about muscles or weight. It's about identity. You stop behaving like someone waiting to be rescued and start behaving like someone responsible for their own state. This doesn't require a perfect routine. It requires a non-negotiable minimum. That's the secret. If your standard is perfection, you'll quit often. If your standard is consistency, you'll transform. So build a baseline you can keep even on hard days. 20 minutes of movement, enough water, a clean meal, and a fixed sleep window. Simple, repeatable, powerful. Also remember this: your posture is social energy. Shoulders collapsed, chest closed, eyes down. Your body signals retreat. Stand tall, breathe deeper, relax your jaw, and keep your gaze steady. Instantly, your nervous system shifts, and so does how others read you. You look more present because you are more present. The point is not to become perfectly attractive. The point is to become fully alive. When your body is cared for, your mind is clearer. When your mind is clearer, your character is stronger. And when your character is stronger, attraction stops being something you chase. It becomes something you radiate naturally. So ask yourself with honesty, does my daily routine communicate self-respect or self-neglect? Your body is answering that question every day, whether you notice it or not. 4. Dress clean, simple, and intentional. Style becomes powerful when it stops being loud. A lot of people use clothes as armor. They either overdo everything to hide insecurity or underdo everything and call it, "I don't care." But intentional dressing is neither. It's not about chasing trends, and it's not about spending more money. It's about coherence. Your outside matching your inside. Clean lines, good fit, thoughtful choices. Nothing forced, nothing chaotic. Just a quiet signal that you respect yourself and you respect the moment you walked into. The truth is, people form impressions fast. Before your ideas, before your humor, before your values, they read your presentation. Not in a shallow way, in a human way. Our brains scan for signals, order or disorder, effort or neglect, clarity or confusion. When your appearance feels clean and intentional, people feel ease around you. They assume maturity before you even speak. That assumption opens doors. And the opposite is also true. If your look feels careless, wrinkled, or inconsistent, you might be a great person with deep character, but others will need more time to discover it. You're making connection harder than it needs to be. Attraction isn't just what you are, it's how clearly you communicate it. Intentional style follows a simple principle: reduce friction. Wear what fits your body well. Choose colors that work together without noise. Keep shoes clean. Keep grooming consistent. Use one subtle signature if you like. A watch, a jacket, a ring, a scent. Small details, repeated over time, become identity. People begin to associate you with clarity. Notice, none of this says, be flashy. Flash often grabs attention but fails to keep respect. Simplicity with precision does both. There's something magnetic about someone who looks composed without trying to dominate the room. It says, I know who I am. I don't need to announce it. There's also a psychological loop here. When you dress intentionally, you behave intentionally. Your posture changes. Your speech sharpens. Your decisions improve. You're less likely to drift into lazy habits because your environment, including what you wear, reminds you who you're choosing to be today. Clothing, at its best, is not decoration. It's behavioral design. Try this practical rule. Prepare tomorrow's outfit tonight in under 2 minutes. Keep it simple. One clean base, one solid layer, one pair of shoes you trust. Morning, you will thank evening you. You remove decision fatigue, reduce stress, and start the day aligned instead of scattered. At the deeper level, this habit is about self-honesty. Are you dressing from confidence or from compensation? Are you presenting your real character or hiding behind noise? The most attractive look is the one that feels like truth. Polished truth, but truth. So before you leave home tomorrow, pause at the door and ask, does what I'm wearing communicate clarity, self-respect, and intention? If yes, you're already ahead of most people. 5. Keep your word, even in small things. Nothing makes a person more attractive long-term than reliability. Not charm, not beauty, not talent. Reliability. Because when your words and your actions match, people feel safe with you, and safety is the foundation of trust. Without trust, attraction is noise. With trust, even simple moments start to feel meaningful. Most people think integrity is about big promises, the dramatic moments, the visible commitments. But your character is mostly revealed in small agreements. I'll call you later. I'll send it tonight. I'll be there at 7. These tiny moments look insignificant, but they build your reputation brick by brick. Keep them often, and people experience you as solid. Break them often, and no explanation can fully repair the signal. There's a hidden emotional cost to broken promises too. Every time you say something and don't do it, your self-respect takes a quiet hit. You may not notice it immediately, but your mind notices. Confidence drops. Inner trust weakens. Then you begin overcompensating with words, talking bigger, promising more, hoping language can fix what consistency didn't. It never works for long. Attractive people don't overpromise. They underpromise and deliver cleanly. They speak with precision because they understand that every commitment is a contract with identity. If they can't do it, they say it early. If plans change, they communicate directly. No disappearing, no vague excuses, no emotional smoke. This habit also changes your relationships in a deeper way. People stop guessing with you. They stop overthinking your intentions. They relax because your behavior is predictable in the best sense. Predictable doesn't mean boring. It means dependable. And dependable is rare in a world full of mixed signals. A practical standard you can adopt today is simple. Before you say yes, pause for 3 seconds and ask, can I actually do this? If the answer is uncertain, don't commit yet. If you already committed and something changed, communicate before the deadline, not after. Maturity is not never failing. Maturity is repairing quickly and clearly. Also, respect time. If you're always late, always postponing, always almost there, people don't just see poor planning, they feel low priority. Punctuality is emotional respect. It says, your life matters too. That message is deeply attractive because it reflects humility, discipline, and awareness beyond the self. And here's the paradox. The more carefully you protect your word, the less you need to convince people of your value. Your pattern speaks for you. Your name starts carrying weight in rooms you're not in. That's real influence. So ask yourself tonight, if someone judged my character only by what I said I'd do versus what I actually did this week, what would they conclude? The answer may be uncomfortable, but it's also the doorway to becoming unforgettable for the right reasons. 6. Stop chasing approval. There's a subtle desperation people can feel even when you hide it well. It sounds like over-explaining. It looks like constant agreement. It feels like shape-shifting in every room just to stay liked. And the strange part is, the more you chase approval, the less attractive you become, because people don't trust energy that abandons itself to be accepted. Approval chasing is exhausting because it has no finish line. One person likes you, another doesn't. One group praises you, another criticizes you. So you keep adjusting, editing, performing, hoping to finally feel enough. But if your worth depends on other people's reactions, your identity stays rented. You never fully come home to yourself. Real attractiveness begins when that cycle breaks. Not when you become rude, not when you stop caring about people, but when you stop needing permission to be who you are. There's a powerful difference between respect and approval. Respect is earned through character. Approval is requested through performance. Respect grows when you're honest, consistent, and grounded. Approval comes and goes with mood, trend, and convenience. If you build your life around approval, you'll betray your values the moment pressure rises. If you build your life around respect, you may disappoint some people, but you'll keep your center. You can see this in conversation. The approval-seeking version of you talks too much, apologizes for clear boundaries, laughs when something wasn't funny, says yes while feeling resentment inside. The centered version is calmer, cleaner. It can disagree without aggression. It can say no without guilt. It doesn't need to win every room because it's no longer trying to be chosen by everyone. And yes, this comes with discomfort. When you stop performing, some people will pull away, especially those who benefited from your over-giving version. Let them. That is not rejection, that is filtration. You are not losing your people, you are losing your audience. A practical shift for today. Replace "how do I make them like me" with "how do I show up truthfully and respectfully." Before entering any conversation, set one internal rule: I won't betray my values for temporary approval. Then keep your tone warm, your words honest, and your boundaries clear. That combination is rare and highly attractive. Another helpful test: notice where you feel the urge to explain yourself too much. Over-explaining is often fear in polite clothing. Say your point once, clearly. If they misunderstand, clarify briefly. If they still resist, let the silence do its work. You don't need endless defense when your position is clean. The deeper truth is this: when you stop chasing approval, your presence becomes lighter and stronger at the same time. You smile more naturally, you listen better, you react less. You stop living as a product and start living as a person. And people feel that freedom around you. It's magnetic. So ask yourself honestly, where am I abandoning myself just to avoid disapproval? Fix that one place, and your attractiveness will rise not because you became more impressive, but because you became more real. 7. Master your emotional reactions. Anyone can look composed when life is easy. The real test is what happens when you're triggered, disappointed, ignored, or disrespected. That's where attraction is either built or broken in real time. Because people don't just watch what you say, they watch how you carry pressure. If every small frustration turns into irritation, every disagreement into a fight, every delay into drama, your energy becomes unstable. And unstable energy makes others cautious around you. They may still like you, but they won't fully trust you. On the other hand, when you can stay grounded under stress, you send a powerful signal. I can hold my center. That signal is deeply attractive. Emotional mastery is not suppression. It's not pretending nothing affects you. It's feeling everything, without becoming a prisoner to the first reaction. Anger may appear. Fear may appear. Shame may appear. Fine. Let the wave come. Just don't hand it the microphone. Most damage in relationships happens in those unguarded seconds between feeling and response. A message arrives, you assume the worst, you fire back. Someone criticizes you, you defend your ego instead of hearing the point. A plan fails, you collapse into blame instead of adjustment. One impulsive reaction can undo months of trust. The attractive alternative is simple, but not easy. Pause before expression. Give your nervous system a moment to settle, then choose your response from values, not from heat. Try this practical method today. When triggered, use the 3-step reset. Stop, breathe, name. Stop speaking for a few seconds. Breathe slowly, 1 full inhale and longer exhale. Name the feeling quietly. I'm angry, I'm anxious. I feel dismissed. Naming creates distance. Distance creates choice. Choice creates power. Another key is interpretation. Events don't only hurt because of what happened, they hurt because of the story we attach to them. Their late becomes, I don't matter. They disagreed becomes, I'm being attacked. They were quiet becomes, I'm not enough. Emotional mastery means challenging these instant stories before acting on them. Ask, what else could this mean? That one question can save relationships, opportunities, and your peace. And let's be honest, people are drawn to those who make hard moments feel manageable. If conflict with you feels like war, people withdraw. If conflict with you feels clear, respectful, and contained, people lean closer. They know problems can be solved without emotional destruction. That safety is rare. That rarity is attractive. You don't need to become emotionless. You need to become responsible with emotion. Big difference. Warm heart, steady hands, sensitive mind, disciplined tongue. Feel deeply, respond wisely. So tonight, reflect on one recent moment where you reacted too fast. Not to shame yourself, to train yourself. What did you feel? What story did you attach? What response would the strongest version of you choose next time? Master this, and your presence changes completely. People won't just admire you, they'll trust you when it matters most. 8. Develop a life mission bigger than attention. There's something instantly attractive about a person who is going somewhere. Not rushing, not performing, not shouting their plans every day, just moving with direction. When your life has a mission, your energy changes. You stop orbiting around who texted back, who noticed you, who praised you, who ignored you. You still care about people, of course, but you no longer depend on their attention to feel alive. Your attention is invested in building something meaningful, and that shift makes you calmer, sharper, and far more magnetic. People can feel when someone has no center. The conversation becomes subtle, fishing for validation. Do you like me? Am I impressive? Am I enough? But when someone has purpose, their presence feels different. They listen better. They need less applause. They carry less emotional noise. They are not empty, waiting to be filled by external approval. They are engaged in a path. A mission doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be raising your children with integrity, building a business that solves a real problem, becoming excellent in your craft, restoring your health, serving your community, writing your book, mastering a discipline. The scale is less important than the sincerity. What matters is that your days are linked to something beyond mood and attention. Without mission, you become vulnerable to distraction. Every comment can destabilize you. Every comparison can steal your focus. Every rejection can feel like identity collapse. With mission, these same events shrink to their real size. You recover faster because your life is not hanging on one person's opinion. Here's a practical way to define yours. Complete this sentence in one clear line. For the next 12 months, I am devoted to Daktuai because it serves Daktuais. Keep it simple and concrete. Then choose one daily action that proves this devotion, even if small. 20 focused minutes count. 1 page counts. 1 workout counts. 1 honest outreach counts. Mission is not a mood, it's repeated behavior. Also, protect your mission from public overexposure. Announcing goals can feel productive, but often it gives you emotional reward before real work is done. Build quietly. Let results speak later. Quiet progress creates deep confidence, the kind that doesn't collapse when praise disappears. And yes, mission makes you more attractive in relationships too. Why? Because it reduces neediness. You stop asking another human being to become your entire identity. You can love deeply without clinging desperately. You can connect without losing yourself. You bring fullness, not hunger. The deeper truth is this: attention is a poor life goal. It fades quickly and leaves you emptier each time. Meaning, on the other hand, strengthens you from the inside and gives your presence a kind of gravity people respect instinctively. So ask yourself now, what am I building that will still matter 1 year from today? If that answer is blurry, start small and define it tonight. Clarity is attractive. Commitment is attractive. Direction is attractive. And when your life is anchored in mission, you no longer chase the spotlight. You become the person whose light is hard to ignore. 9. Use eye contact with warmth, not pressure. Eye contact is one of the fastest ways people decide how safe you feel. Too little and you seem disconnected or unsure. Too intense and you feel confrontational or performative. But warm, steady eye contact, that changes everything. It communicates confidence and kindness at the same time, which is a rare combination and deeply attractive. A lot of people misunderstand this. They think eye contact is about dominance, like a silent contest of who looks away first. But that energy creates tension, not trust. Real presence isn't a stare down, it's attunement. You look at someone in a way that says, "I'm here with you," not "I'm trying to control this moment." When done well, eye contact makes conversations feel personal and alive. The other person feels seen, not scanned. They feel met, not evaluated. And that single shift can turn an average interaction into a memorable one. The body helps here. If your jaw is tight, shoulders raised and breath shallow, your eyes will carry pressure even if your words are polite. So before conversations, soften the face slightly, drop your shoulders, and breathe lower into the belly. Your gaze naturally becomes calmer and more welcoming. People may not know why, but they'll feel more comfortable around you. A practical rhythm you can use: hold eye contact for a few seconds while listening, then break naturally for a moment when thinking, then return. This feels human, fluid, authentic. Constant, unbroken eye contact can feel robotic. Constant avoidance can feel anxious. The balance is what creates connection. Also, match eye contact to context. In emotionally sensitive moments, a little more steady presence can communicate support. In playful moments, lighter gaze with relaxed expression keeps things easy. Social intelligence is attractive because it shows awareness beyond self. And don't forget, digital habits are training your eyes too. If you spend hours in fragmented attention, constantly switching screens, your in-person presence weakens. Rebuild it intentionally. During one conversation each day, keep your phone away, look fully at the person, and listen without multitasking. This simple exercise strengthens relational focus like a muscle. There's a deeper layer to this habit. Warm eye contact reflects internal honesty. If you're hiding, performing, or seeking approval, your gaze becomes unstable, either too forceful or too avoidant. But when you're grounded in self-respect, your eyes settle. They don't chase, they don't flinch, they connect. That's why this matters so much for attraction. People aren't only reacting to your face, they're reacting to your emotional signal. Warm eyes plus calm presence equals trust, and trust, again, is the heart of lasting attraction. So ask yourself in your next conversation, am I looking at this person to connect or to manage how I'm being perceived? One builds intimacy, the other builds distance. Choose connection. Your whole presence will change with it. 10. Set clear boundaries without guilt. One of the most attractive things about a person is this: they know where they end and where others begin. No drama, no harshness, no apology for having standards, just clarity. When you don't have boundaries, your life becomes open access. Your time gets consumed, your energy gets drained, your priorities get delayed, and resentment starts growing in silence. You say yes when you mean no, then wonder why you feel exhausted around people you care about. That pattern doesn't make you kind, it makes you unavailable to your own life. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They don't exist to punish people, they exist to protect what matters: your peace, your focus, your values, your mission. And when people feel that your limits are calm and consistent, they trust you more, not less. Clear boundaries signal maturity. Think about it. Unpredictability creates anxiety. Clarity creates respect. If your standards change every day based on mood, people don't know how to relate to you. But when your limits are stable, your relationships become cleaner, less confusion, less hidden anger, less emotional debt. A lot of guilt around boundaries comes from a false belief: if I say no, I'm selfish. But saying yes to everything is not love, it's often fear of disapproval. Real care includes honesty. Real respect includes truth. Sometimes the most generous thing you can offer is a clear no now instead of a resentful yes that explodes later. The attractive way to set boundaries is simple: be direct, brief, and kind. No long speeches, no over-explaining, no blaming. I can't do tonight, but I can do Friday. I'm not available for that kind of conversation. I need advance notice before plans. I'm focusing on my priorities this month. Clean language, calm tone, done. And here's the key: boundaries only work when enforced. If you state a limit and keep violating it yourself, people learn not to take it seriously. Every repeated exception trains others how to treat you. So choose fewer boundaries, but make them real. Consistency is what gives them power. There's also a self-respect dimension. Every time you honor your limit, you send yourself a message: my needs matter too. That builds inner trust, and inner trust changes your entire presence. Less needy, less reactive, less apologetic. More grounded, more attractive. Will some people resist your boundaries? Of course, especially those who benefited from your lack of them. Let that teach you something, not break you. Healthy people adjust. Unhealthy dynamics protest. So ask yourself tonight, where am I saying yes while my body is clearly saying no? Start there. Protect 1 hour, one standard, one emotional limit. Small boundary, big transformation. Because the moment you stop abandoning yourself to keep everyone comfortable, people start feeling your strength in a different way. Quiet, clean, unmistakable. 11. Practice disciplined silence instead of constant talking. Not every silence is awkward. Sometimes silence is where your power returns. A lot of people talk too much when they're anxious. They fill every pause, explain every thought, defend every choice, add detail after detail, hoping to avoid being misunderstood. But the more you overtalk, the more your message loses force. Words become noise. Presence becomes scattered. Attraction drops. Not because you're uninteresting, but because your energy feels uncontained. Disciplined silence is different. It's not withdrawal, it's not coldness, it's emotional control in real time. You speak when you have something clear to add, then you let the moment breathe. That breathing space gives your words weight. It also communicates security. You are not afraid of pauses, and you are not dependent on constant verbal validation. Think about the most grounded people you know. They don't rush to comment on everything. They don't leak all their plans. They don't explain their value every 5 minutes. They listen, observe, then speak with precision. And when they do, people pay attention. Why? Because restraint creates credibility. There's a Stoic flavor to this. If you can't govern your tongue, you probably can't govern your mind. Constant talking is often a symptom of inner restlessness. Disciplined speech reflects inner order. That order is attractive because it feels stable, and stability is rare in a culture of endless reaction. This habit is especially powerful during conflict. When someone is heated, your calm silence can de-escalate faster than any clever argument. You don't have to mirror chaos to prove strength. Pause, breathe, choose fewer, cleaner words. I hear you. Let's slow this down. I'm open to solving this, not fighting. That tone shifts the entire room. Practical training. Use the 2-second rule. Before replying in meaningful conversations, wait 2 seconds. Let the other person fully finish. Let your first emotional reaction settle, then answer. Those 2 seconds protect you from impulsive speech, and they make you sound far more composed. Another rule: stop giving away your next 10 moves. Share selectively, build quietly. Not everyone deserves access to your process. Silence is sometimes protection, sometimes focus, sometimes wisdom. You don't need secrecy from fear. You need discretion from maturity. Also, notice your digital speech. Commenting on every post, arguing in every thread, broadcasting every mood. This fragments your attention and weakens your signal. Attraction grows around people who are present in real life, not constantly performing in public noise. The deeper truth is simple. Silence reveals whether you are comfortable with yourself. If every quiet moment feels threatening, you'll escape into words. If you're grounded internally, silence feels natural, and people can feel that groundedness instantly. So ask yourself in your next conversation, am I speaking to add value or speaking to soothe my own insecurity? One creates respect, the other creates fatigue. Practice saying less, but saying it better. You'll notice something almost immediately. The less you need to prove, the more powerful your presence becomes. 12. Improve one skill that earns real respect. Attraction gets deeper when people can feel competence in you, not borrowed confidence, not motivational talk, not aesthetic discipline alone. Real competence, the kind built through repetition, frustration, and patience. When you become truly good at something useful, your presence changes without effort. You speak with less noise because you've tested yourself in reality. You become less reactive because your self-worth is no longer floating on opinions. You stop needing constant attention because your work gives you identity from the inside. That inner structure is deeply attractive. A lot of people want to be admired before they become capable. They spend time curating an image instead of building a craft. But image without ability creates fragility. One hard question, one real challenge, one moment of pressure, and the performance cracks. Competence is different. It survives contact with reality. Choose one skill that has social, professional, or personal gravity. It could be communication, writing, selling, coding, design, leadership, negotiation, fitness coaching, language mastery, problem solving, or emotional coaching. The exact skill matters less than the principle. Make yourself useful in a way people can feel. Useful people are attractive because they reduce chaos. They can handle things. They bring solutions, not just opinions. In teams, relationships and communities, that energy is rare and unforgettable. Here's the practical mistake to avoid: trying to improve 5 skills at once. Scattered effort feels productive, but produces shallow results. Instead, pick one skill for the next 90 days and go deep. Set a simple system: daily practice block, weekly feedback loop, monthly proof of progress. Nothing fancy, just consistent reps. For example, if your chosen skill is communication, practice one focused conversation daily with clear structure. Ask better questions, summarize accurately, express your point in fewer words, and close with clarity. Record short voice notes to hear your tone. Study one great speaker for 10 minutes per day. In 3 months, people will feel the difference before they can explain it. And yes, learning a skill also trains character. You meet boredom and you continue. You meet failure and you adjust. You meet slow progress and you persist. That process builds emotional endurance. Another attractive trait that no filter can fake. There's a quiet confidence that comes from earned ability. It doesn't need to dominate. It doesn't need to announce itself. It simply shows up in how you think, decide, and respond. People trust it because it's grounded in evidence, not ego. A powerful question to carry tonight: what can I become excellent at that would make me more valuable to others and more respectful of myself? Pick one answer. Start small tomorrow. Protect the routine. Let time do its work. Because in the long run, the world is not drawn to promises, it is drawn to proof. And when your skill becomes undeniable, your attractiveness is no longer a mystery. It becomes a byproduct of mastery. 13. Carry yourself with gratitude, not entitlement. Entitlement is loud, even when unspoken. It appears in small reactions: irritation when things are delayed, contempt when others make mistakes, disappointment when praise doesn't arrive on time. It carries a hidden belief: I deserve special treatment. And people feel that energy quickly. It drains trust. It shrinks attraction. Because entitlement makes every interaction feel like a transaction. Gratitude creates the opposite effect. Not fake positivity, not pretending life is easy. Real gratitude, the grounded awareness that nothing is guaranteed, and much of what sustains us comes through the effort, time, and goodwill of others. When you move through life with that awareness, your presence softens without becoming weak. You become easier to work with, easier to love, easier to respect. You complain less, appreciate more, and treat people as humans rather than utilities. That emotional posture is magnetic. Gratitude also protects your mind from chronic comparison. Comparison says, "Why not me?" Gratitude says, "What can I build with what I already have?" One creates bitterness, the other creates momentum. Attractive people are often those who make constructive use of reality instead of resenting reality all day. And this isn't just social etiquette, it's psychological strength. When you practice gratitude consistently, your attention shifts from scarcity to resourcefulness. You notice opportunities faster. You recover from setbacks with less drama. You stop waiting for perfect conditions to begin. That stability changes how people experience you. A practical way to train this: each night, write 3 specific things you benefited from today that came through other people's effort. Not vague lines. Be concrete. The barista remembered my order. My teammate fixed a mistake before it became a problem. My friend answered when I needed clarity. This small habit rewires how you see the world, from expectation to appreciation. Then bring gratitude into speech. Say thank you clearly and directly, especially for small things. Appreciate people in front of others when it's deserved. Credit the team. Acknowledge help. These behaviors cost almost nothing and build enormous relational capital over time. There's also humility in gratitude. You stop acting like you built yourself alone. You recognize teachers, mentors, family, colleagues, even strangers who made your path lighter. That humility is attractive because it signals maturity, not insecurity. And notice this paradox. Grateful people often appear more confident, not less. Why? Because they are less preoccupied with proving superiority. They are focused on contribution, not image management. Their energy feels open, stable, and generous. So ask yourself tonight, when things don't go my way, do I default to resentment or responsibility? Do people feel appreciated around me or evaluated? The answer will reveal more about your attractiveness than any mirror ever could. Carry gratitude into tomorrow in one visible act, one sincere thank you, one moment of recognition, one complaint you decide not to feed. Over time, that choice reshapes your character, and people are always drawn to character they can breathe around. 14. Be consistent when no one is watching. This is where real attractiveness is decided. Public behavior can be performance. Private behavior is identity. Anyone can look disciplined for a day. Anyone can seem kind for an hour. Anyone can appear focused when there's applause, cameras, praise, or social reward. But what you do in ordinary, unseen moments, that's your true pattern. And over time, that pattern becomes your presence. People often call someone magnetic without knowing why. Usually the reason is simple. They sense internal coherence. The person they meet in public feels the same as the person who exists in private. No dramatic gap, no double life, no exhausting shape-shifting. That congruence creates trust fast. Inconsistency does the opposite. Big promises, weak follow-through, strong words, fragile routines, warm energy, unpredictable behavior. Even if people can't name it, they feel the instability and pull back. Attraction needs emotional predictability to grow. This is why private standards matter so much. Do you wake when you said you would? Do you keep small commitments to yourself? Do you finish what you start? Do you tell the truth when lying would be easier? These moments seem minor, but they're not. They are votes for the person you're becoming. And here's the deeper part. When you betray your own standards repeatedly, your self-trust weakens. You begin doubting yourself in areas that matter most. Confidence drops, procrastination rises, and you try to compensate with appearance or talk. But no external polish can replace internal evidence. Self-respect comes from receipts, not intentions. A practical system that works. Define a non-negotiable daily baseline, small enough to keep on hard days. Maybe it's 20 minutes of focused work, 10 minutes of movement, one difficult task before distractions, and one honest check-in with yourself at night. Keep it simple, track it visibly. Protect streak integrity over intensity. Why small? Because consistency beats intensity. Intensity creates spikes. Consistency creates identity. One heroic day does less than 30 ordinary disciplined days done quietly. Also, remove the fantasy of perfect motivation. You won't always feel ready. You won't always feel inspired. Attractive people are not people who always feel like doing the work. They are people who do the work without negotiating with every mood. That emotional steadiness is rare, and people trust rare traits. There's a Stoic thread here too. Focus on what you control daily without drama. Not the outcome, not the applause, not the timeline, the action. Repeated action becomes character. Character becomes presence. Presence becomes attraction. So ask yourself tonight, if nobody could see my life for the next 90 days, would my habits still make me proud? If the answer is no, good. Clarity is the start of power. Choose one standard and keep it tomorrow, especially when no one is watching. Because the strongest kind of confidence is quiet, the confidence of a person who can trust themselves in the dark, not just in the spotlight. 15. Make others feel safe, seen, and inspired. If there is one habit that ties everything together, it's this one. People may forget what you wore, they may forget your exact words, but they rarely forget how they felt in your presence. Did they feel small, judged and tense, or did they feel calm, respected, and more alive? That emotional trace is your real attractiveness. Making people feel safe doesn't mean becoming passive. It means your strength is not threatening. You can disagree without humiliation. You can correct without contempt. You can hold standards without making others feel worthless. In your presence, people don't feel they must perform perfectly to be accepted as human. That is rare, and rare is magnetic. Making people feel seen means attention with dignity. You remember details, you ask follow-up questions, you notice effort, not just outcomes. You acknowledge what others carry quietly. In a world where most people feel overlooked, being truly seen is healing, and we naturally gravitate toward people who give that feeling honestly. Then comes inspired, the highest layer. Inspiration isn't hype. It's the subtle lift someone feels after speaking with you. More clarity, more courage, more willingness to act. You don't inspire by preaching. You inspire by embodying, by being steady under pressure, by speaking truth without arrogance, by living your values when it costs you comfort. This final habit is also the most demanding because it asks you to transcend self-absorption. You stop entering rooms asking, "How do I look? Did I impress them?" and start entering with a better question. How can I leave this person better than I found them? That shift transforms everything. Your tone, your listening, your decisions, your relationships. A practical way to apply this today. In every meaningful interaction, do 3 things. Offer 1 moment of safety. Take your time, I'm listening. 1 moment of recognition. You handled that better than you think. 1 moment of direction. What's 1 step you can take today? Safety, seen, inspired. Small actions, deep impact. And don't underestimate consistency here. 1 warm conversation is nice. A consistent pattern of emotional generosity builds a reputation that opens doors for years. People start describing you the same way in different rooms. I always feel clearer after talking to them. That sentence is pure social capital. Attraction at this level is no longer about image. It becomes legacy in miniature. The quality of experience people associate with your name: calm, respect, growth. If your presence gives people those 3, you will never need to chase validation again. Your character will speak before you do. So here we are, at the end of the 15 habits, with 1 final reflection to carry forward. When people meet me, do they leave with more fear or more strength? Live that question daily, and your attractiveness won't depend on trends, youth, or luck. It will be built on something far more durable, the kind of character that makes people feel deeply human around you. If this episode gave you something real, don't let it end as motivation. Let it become a standard. Because attraction is not a trick, it's not a line, it's not a temporary version of you that appears when you want attention. Real attraction is what happens when your habits become aligned with your values. When you're